Okay, uh, this is yours truly, um, and I'm going to pursue uh, this portion of my series called plot registration, and that'll be the first plot we enter into our iPad at this point. So uh, I'm going to start from the beginning, and as if it's a new day, and I'm going to click on the VAR Cruiser app, and I'm going to this time I'm going to go out there with Eli, and as well as I'm going to add Drew Miller to him. He's going to be training at that point out there. And I'm going to log in. And as you can see in the status area, it's showing Eli and Drew as the cruisers. Drew is training under Eli today. Uh, this is all pretend, of course. Okay. I really want to, I would actually at this point be in the field and in our iPad, in our future iPad, this will be on board. I might be cruising in this area and it would have me standing here, and I'm going to take off and start. I'm going to do this plot just south of this road here, and then I'm going to move north and pick up strip 3, 15, and 16. Okay, this is my day here, so I'm going to go to this, and I because this is 9 mile and I have the bull list. I'm not actually going to be able to go to this specific plot, but you get what my intention is. And let's remember that that will be happening over here, probably in full screen mode, and then you'll go back to this smaller version. It'll show where you are right here. Uh, again, that's simply in mind's eye right now. The release we have on the woods is not capable of that now. So we're still using the Avenza application at this point. Okay, and so let me just click on this plot here as a surrogate for the one I just demonstrated. Um, and as such, I'm ready to begin to register this. And I simply go over here and I click register plot at this point. And right off the bat, you see all that wiggling going on. It's demonstrating the fields that are absolutely required. The comments box didn't wiggle because they're not required. And of course, the red bounding box tells us that same story. Uh, to start registration, you have to click the black arrow in the green box. That's location services. And it reaches out and grabs your current Latin lawn. Uh, if you've been standing there a while, that should be that's as close as we can get. It's certainly closer. Uh, it's more than adequate. In the future, right now actually, when we export this to the viewer, the VARCruise viewer app, desktop application, we can actually compare how far off, how many feet we are actually standing away from what was the intended location as found in GIS, and it would also be found on the Avenza or the onboard uh, local map. That is that position would be compared, and it would be 7, 10, 12 feet off. Hopefully, we're going to monitor that over the course of time. Uh, now we actually make a choice. We're looking around and kind of glancing to the north. We find our first bearing tree, and we go out to it with the transponder at plot center, uh, and, uh, and and we actually move to the center of the bowl, and we point the Haglov back at the transponder, and we click the take that reading, and it actually let's just say it's 25.6 feet. Uh, that in the future, it is our hope that will be uh, doable through Bluetooth. That you won't even have to take your iPad out of your vest at this point. Either way, you will have to eventually take your iPad out and collect the azimuth looking back towards plot center. And let's say that azimuth is 18 degrees. Uh, and we repeat the process for the second bearing tree. And say we make a bad choice. Well, I tip my hand there. I find one, not that one. That's too far away for anybody. Let's find one that's 42 feet away. That's quite a ways. It's probably too far too. But either way, At this point, it's looking to keep those bearing trees at least 90 degrees apart. So, say I made a bad choice and it was only a 56 degrees azimuth, I would get the message that tells me that, geez, if I could make a better choice, it would be good. This is just a warning at this point. It's not a requirement. So you can actually just click and go around it and accept that, because who knows, maybe that's the only two you can get. I assume that's better than nothing. In a perfect world, we would actually find something 90 degrees apart, so maybe something 144 degrees azimuth, at which time you don't get the message, the warning about a bad choice. Uh, at this point, you can add some comments. All the comments take time. I would keep that to a minimum, but you might want to send a message to your cruise foreman. Remember, he's going to be looking at it with the supervisor. These are all readily available, these comments, in the viewer, which these plots should be reviewed in a perfect world nightly by the foreman to make sure everybody's still on track. So this is a test. Very slow. Okay. Uh, at this point, nothing has bounded by a red box, and nothing's wiggling at me. So I'm going to save this registration. I could discharge. If I hit discard changes and cancel, it starts the whole thing all over again. So I'm going to save this. And at this point, you saw a couple of things happen here. In the plot list area, you saw the red tree icon appear with the E in it. It's because at this point it's an empty plot. You also seen now you have the ability to add trees. You can only add trees to a correctly registered plot. And here is the date and time that it's using. And when you click this button for the first time to add trees, it will be comparing that with this time. And we are going to offer up some messages or warnings, at which time it may be appropriate to re-register the plot if there's too much time. We haven't thought out all those circumstances yet, and right now they're not in place. But I do believe going forward with multiple contractors that we would like to keep close track of the registration process relevant to the actual tally tree entry at this point. Okay, I'm going to stop here, and we're going to leave this tree, this plot simply registered, and then I'm going to move on to the next part of my story, which is the tally tree data part.